So we might as well just kick it off with that. CES is going on right now because the tech industry, in the interest of everyone's best health, loves to have a big gathering in Vegas, the most cigarette smoke-filled town ever, and they get a bunch of people in there, and they announce new graphics cards, and everyone hangs around and probably gambles and stays up too late. And I'm honestly, it sounds like a good time, but in the interest of recovering from a holiday break, I'm very relieved I'm not, so I can stay home and eat salads. But the people who are there, I'm not sure if they're actually having a demo of this or not, but Sony announced this thing that is called, let me see if I have the phrasing right here. It is, it has one of the most cool and sexy sounding names. It is called the Future Immersive Entertainment Concept. And what it is basically a big box. Fake! It's basically a box that's made of video wall screens. So like big, huge, each wall is like a big high definition screen, including the floor. I'm guessing the ceiling too. And you go in there and it's sort of like, imagine if virtual reality wasn't a headset, but like a room. And so
Isn't that just reality though?
Yeah. I don't even know what it feels like.
What if virtual reality wasn't virtual?
Okay, what if a light gun game was a room? It's because it's basically that.
Okay.
But it's apparently in the interest of being fully immersive. You know, they obviously got like good 3D audio and all that because it's Sony. In the interest of being fully immersive, they also have smells in there because people keep trying to make fetch happen with smelly video games, and I don't know why, but they're doing it again. And I think we've joked about this, like what do games smell like? What is the best smelling game or worst smelling game? And I feel like a pretty big consensus is that The Last of Us probably doesn't smell great. So what better way to demonstrate a big stinky room of immersive future concepts or whatever it's called? Yeah, did you guys check this out? Here, we're checking out the video here.
I did not get around to watching this yet. There was a lot of stuff came out late last night and I was busy doing other things, but it's kind of crazy. Also, if I had to throw my hat in the ring for a game that I would like to smell, like just give me flour, like that old like arcade game. Let me just smell flowers or whatnot and just fly around as petals in the wind.
You should check out a florist. Go to one of those places.
I should, you know, they've already made this device. It's called Florist Shops.
I definitely don't want to smell anything we're looking at. Anything. I don't want to smell anything from The Last of Us.
The way I think, I'm kind of curious how this kind of plays out. Like, I mean, have we been to Universal Studios before? I'm pretty sure we have. There's a ride there, the Simpsons ride, and there's certain portions of that ride where it puts out a certain scent. Like when you're in Maggie's mouth, it smells like like baby powder.
Okay.
So I guess that's what Maggie's mouth smells like.
Mouth smell like baby powder. That's weird.
I was gonna say, why is the baby eating baby powder?
I honestly she becomes a big giant. She becomes a big giant because of the power plant, and you know, then she sees you and she loses her pacifier, so she grabs the ride and she puts you in her mouth.
Right.
So I'm thinking that's what happens here. Like there's certain portions of this immersive experience that emanates some sort of scent. So hopefully the clickers, you don't smell whatever the hell they smell like. I don't know. I just assume they smell like popcorn though. So I wouldn't mind that smell.
I mean, they're fungus, so maybe they smell like it's nice, like an umami scent. You know, they smell like a nice polenta or whatever, or like a.
Did you say a new umami scent? What's a new
umami scent? You know, like
okay.
that
makes more sense.
Like it's a nice, you know, garlic parmesan. You're like, ooh, but I don't know. But yeah,
hit them with a Molotov and get that nice little toasty kind of like.
Scent. It just smells like the Olive Garden in there. Like I don't know. This is a funny idea. I like the best thing about it though is if you're in there and you've got horrible BO and someone's like, wow, it smells terrible. You're like, yeah, it's so realistic. I bet this is just what The Last of Us smells like. It's so an immersive experience. So yeah, this is one of those you know, big CES tech demos. It's very like cool and exciting and sexy, but it's also like, what is the application here? What is the practical instance that we'd possibly see this? And the most realistic one I can picture is this becomes one of those like, you know, theme park like activations, like there's those VR room kind of things people go to. And yeah, the upside is that you don't have to, you know, you get a bunch of people with like light guns in a room, but they don't have to put any headsets on their heads, which is probably more sanitary and also like less of a liability of people whacking into each other. Like it's kind of just, and also you can get people in and out quicker.
Also, you know, keep in mind, remember, like I think it was like 2 years ago, they had The Last of Us Halloween maze at Universal Studios. So maybe, I don't know, could be something that they're testing out. Maybe they want to implement it in I don't know, HHN one of these years. Who knows?
That seems like a good use of this. I mean, like the cool thing is that it seems fairly modular. Like they obviously have to build something out, but it's the sort of thing that they could probably bring to Comic-Con or like an event space or whatever. But
Yeah.
you know, if you want to buy one of these things, that's not on the table unless you're, you know, insanely rich. But like, yeah, it's like a, you know, it's not a, it's funny because it's the Consumer Electronics Show. This is not, from what I can tell, a consumer electronic by a long shot. It's, you know, maybe you can go and consume it in a public place, but
There's
seems more-
historically a lot of snake oil salesmen at that convention. Not saying that's what they're doing here, but there's a lot of like magicians that don't reveal the back half of the trick, right? They're just kind of like, hey, look at this thing that we're working on that could be amazing someday, and then it just never comes into fruition. But it's fun, and it gets people like us talking about it for 15 minutes. To me, it sort of looks like they're taking a crack at their own version of you know, Disney's The Volume, but making a stinkier version. So in this specifically, it seems like something that's a little bit more immersive for the individual rather than for the consumer, you know, watching a show as a product or something like that. So it's cool. I dig it, but like, yeah, I don't think any of us will ever really experience this in real life. You know, like I feel like we're a decade away from this being at a public place, and a decade from now, I don't even know if we'll have malls anymore. So yeah, it's going to be a Universal Studios joint.
So the one thing about this is we have a big video wall at the IGN studio, like, and it's really cool, and it's, you know, how you do different kind of modular backdrops. It's like a thing you see a lot on, you know, sets and studio things for, you know, talk show type stuff. The one issue is that if it gets a dead pixel, it really sucks. And the way they like basically break up into little like video screen like Lego pieces almost, but they're not. You know, even when it's high definition, it's still like I think the pixels are like pretty big, or the LEDs are like pretty big. You know, so you get kind of close and you can sort of see it's not like a, you know, it's not like a flat screen TV. Maybe this is higher resolution. I can't say, but like I can imagine that if, you know, somebody decided to rent this out to a bunch of teenagers at the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk or whatever, and it gets, you know, people get silly or throw stuff at it, or it gets banged around too much, then suddenly you've got a few dead pixels that maybe ruin the immersion, and you just got like a few like red and green and blue dots floating around there. Yeah, I don't know. Wait and see. Again, it is kind of cool. I do love the sort of the hypothetical concept art side of CES.